Entry 402-Theta. Planetary designation Sol 3. Subject Felis catus. Sol 3 is a tiny, damp rock inhabited by a carbon-based bipedal life form that possesses the theoretical capacity to split the atom, yet is frequently locked out of its own financial infrastructure because it cannot remember the name of its first childhood pet. And speaking of pets, the Encyclopedia Galactica defines the domestic cat as a small, razor-tipped sociopath wrapped in a pleasingly soft tegument, which has successfully conquered a theoretically superior species. To understand the human relationship with the feline, one must first discard the human concept of affection. Humans believe they adopted the cat. They believe they are the caretakers. This is a staggering misinterpretation of the telemetry. The human is not a caretaker. The human is a compromised biological transport vessel suffering from a chemically induced psychosis. The mechanism for this subjugation is Toxoplasma gondii. In a maneuver of breathtaking evolutionary espionage, the feline digestive tract breeds a microscopic, single-celled neuroparasite. This parasite is deposited into the human's living quarters via the cat's feces. Once inhaled or ingested by the human, a distressingly common occurrence, as we will cover shortly, the parasite breaches the blood-brain barrier and begins rewriting the host's neurochemistry. In rodents, this parasite fundamentally disables the fear center of the brain, causing the rat to become suicidally attracted to the scent of feline urine, thus ensuring the rat is consumed and the parasite's life cycle continues. In humans, the neurological sabotage manifests as an irrational, overwhelming compulsion to purchase expensive, motorized plastic mice and submit to the creature's every whim. The cat mum, or cat dad, is not expressing love. They are experiencing a systemic malware infection. They have been biologically hacked by a microbe to serve as a high-functioning bipedal can opener. This brain damage is the only logical explanation for the human tolerance of the feline's secondary function, the systematic dismemberment of the local ecosystem. Humans frequently boast of their love for nature, yet they willfully introduce a non-native, highly efficient apex micropredator into delicate local ecosystems, open the front door, and simply let it wander off. The domestic cat is an ecological wrecking ball. They hunt not for sustenance, but for sport. They are responsible for the total extinction of dozens of avian and mammalian species, casually murdering billions of vital pollinators and native fauna every single solar year. When the feline returns to the domicile, dragging the mutilated, half-decapitated corpse of a critically endangered songbird onto the human sleeping mat, the human does not recognize this as ecological sabotage. Thanks to the aforementioned brain parasites, the human gasps, categorizes the carnage as a present, and rewards the furry assassin with a spoonful of processed salmon paste. And when they are not dismantling the local food web, they are engaging in nocturnal psychological warfare. In the dead of night, while the human unit attempts to run its essential sleep subroutines, the feline will frequently venture into the local alleyways to engage in territorial disputes with its own clones. This involves sitting atop plastic refuse receptacles and emitting a frequency of wailing that closely mimics the sound of a banshee being fed headfirst into a wood chipper. Yet the human endures this auditory assault purely so they can welcome the creature back inside to utilize the litter box. The litter box is perhaps the most damning evidence of human cognitive failure. Humans possess a profound terror of microscopic pathogens. They have invented elaborate, multi-billion credit indoor plumbing networks designed specifically to whisk their own biological waste out of their living quarters and into subterranean treatment facilities the instant it is produced. Simultaneously, they designate a plastic tray, often located inside their own food preparation areas or hygiene chambers, as an open-air defecation sandbox for a carnivorous predator. The human willingly exposes itself to concentrated ammonia fumes, performing a daily humiliating ritual of sifting through toxic, clay-coated feces with a specialized plastic slotted spoon. Medical science has explicitly informed them that handling this specific waste can be lethal to human fetuses. The human response to this information is not to eject the toxic animal from the premises, but rather to treat fetal endangerment as a quirky lifestyle choice. This brings us to the most pathetic subroutine of all: cross-species surrogate imprinting. As humans increasingly opt out of procreation, largely due to the crushing economic despair they have entirely manufactured for themselves, their hard-coded maternal and paternal instincts begin to misfire. They project this complex, resource-heavy nurturing programming onto a solitary, territorial predator that views gravity not as a physical law, but as a personal challenge. Humans will refer to themselves as mummy or daddy when addressing the feline. They will purchase specialized, wheeled transport carriages, strollers, for a creature possessing 4 perfectly operational legs. They will spend vast sums of their arbitrary currency on elaborate, multi-tiered carpeted towers and automated laser-emitting entertainment systems, only for the cat to ignore the technology completely and choose to sit inside the discarded cardboard shipping container. The humans call this having a fur baby. The feline, however, views the human primarily as a cumbersome, oversized piece of furniture that generates food. Should the human suffer a sudden, catastrophic hardware failure and perish unexpectedly within the locked domicile, the feline will not mourn. It will wait approximately 48 hours before efficiently deciding to consume the human's facial tissue for sustenance. In a civilized galaxy, such parasitic subjugation would be dealt with swiftly. Consider the Xylaxian hive mind of Sector 4. When a Xylaxian drone is infected by a mind-altering spore, the hive does not buy the spore a collar with a little bell on it. They instantly incinerate the drone from orbit to protect the integrity of the collective. Or observe the Gliese 581G symbiotes. They pair exclusively with utility beasts that actually perform household chores, rather than creatures that intentionally vomit on the softest available textiles just to assert dominance. Humans, however, lack this fundamental pragmatism. They have surrendered their homes, their ecosystems, and their very neurochemistry to a creature that actively resents their existence.